I'm John Lane, and I'm here to persuade you to sign with an independent label instead of a major label. With a major label, a band could go from 1/4 of the way through its contract, and they've only made, I don't know, 1/3 as much as they would working at like a 7-Eleven, as where like the music industry made $3 million off of them. But, you know, they got to ride a tour bus for the entire tour. I guess that's fun. Major label wasn't the only way to go in today's age. They have the independent label that's growing rapidly with social media and internet usage. And you don't need as many employers, so it's a lot easier. And it's more of a family type surrounding, I guess. With your major label as well, you don't, I guess I can actually use this. With your major label, they don't have the passion as the independent does. Major label has the big business, all this money, they can just throw at a person. They don't have to actually scout out who's got the talent or the actual ability to just sell music by themselves either. As where the independent label, they actually put all their time into a band. And with the major label, your band could be easily replaced. You're just a number on their checkbook. They don't care about you, they don't really care about your music. I mean, sure, there's some people within the music major label that care about the music industry, but overall it's all about the business and the next paycheck. They can get you into these contracts that trap you. Even if it's not a real contract, they send an A&R guy out who's a representative of the major label to talk to these kids. Half the time it's just a young guy like them, so they feel comfortable with them. And at the end of the day, he gives them all his hopes and promises to this band when he has no power over the contract at all, has them sign this deal memo, as they would call it, and that band's basically trapped within that label. They either have to sign with them or pay them out to get out of that binding contract. And most of the time they just sign with them to get it over it, because you can't sign with anyone else until they drop that memo. And as where the independent label invests all their money into you, most of the time there's only a few amount of artists actually within the label, usually 1 or 2 or so, maybe a little bit more depending on the size of the independent label. They put all their money into that band and their time to actually sell the product, because their success is built on your success. And they really care about the music as well, because they have to pick out who's good. They don't have time to actually risk that the band's not good and not work with them and try to improve their selling. They put their neck on the line. It's their business. They have no bigger company that provides all this music or all this money to them in case that band fails out. Another thing is, with the family surrounding, you work with a small group of people, and they're the people you talk to the whole time. There's no CEO of the business that you never see, or representative of the company who's going out and saying these things that you don't personally talk to. Independent label is what's there is what you get, and they're straightforward with you, and you get your creative rights, which is a big thing for a lot of musicians, I would hope. I personally wouldn't want anyone else to have control over my music and where it goes, what it has to do, where they use it or anything. I'd want control and rights and get paid every time that's put into a commercial or anything. And another big thing with the independent label is they will personally go out and push your music to sell your music. They'll go out, they'll call record companies and really tell them how great the music is. As for like major labels, they'll just call and ask them if they want the label or not, if they want the album out in their business or not. Sometimes they just answer yes or no, or they've never heard of it, so they don't care. The independent, they go and call them and they try to really sell it to the company. thing with people to solve this, they really just need to get out, do the research on the internet, look at all the options they have. When you do this, it can be an easy way to go from being in the shadows of a major label company to being put on the throne into an independent company. There was an artist named Chris Whitley who was signed with Sony, and he barely had any sales with a major record label. And then when he switched over to an independent label called Messenger, they were really pushing his album. They only expected to sell like 10,000. They ended up getting like 25,000 sales, as where Sony only produced like 16 of his released before that. Half the time with those companies, people just buy it because of who produced it. And like I said before, to watch out for major labels, you have the unfriendly contracts. They'll trap you in those, no doubt about it. The solution to this is to, like I said, use the internet. It's there. Ask other bands, family members. Former bands would be the best way to do it. They have been through it and experienced a lot of it. And look at the pros and cons of each label, what works best for you.